Thank you, Bob. I think he had a little too much of that vegetarian burger. Got him off.
Hey, Bob, we need more light.
What a thrill to be here
Just get
tonight.
closer, get closer.
First of all, I want to let you know that, in honesty, this is a stage name I use, Sam Temple. I've had a problem with groupies over the years. And the geezer groupies not, write letters or call you, or they send telegrams. And you can't imagine how embarrassing it is. Telegram, And here I am. Thank you very much. And also I want to tell you that what you're seeing here tonight, folks, is not really a real thing. In fact, I was involved in a very serious hair transplant, and I was a donor. And if you've ever had your French poodle sheared or something like that, the dog feels funny. I felt funny. So I said to Bob Lowry, who's a good guy, I said, Bob, where should I go to get something to cover this thing up? Folks, you listening here? He says, rugs is art. I didn't like that. I went up to Parrish, Florida, to Al's Discount Toupee place, and they got either this version with the hat or one that doesn't have the hat, but it has a chin strap. And it felt a little awkward. We love being here tonight, and this doo-wop music, man, I'm telling you, it brings me back memories of high school. Greasy hair, motorcycle jackets, switchblade knives, and that was just the girls. Yeah, but any of you tonight, I don't care what's going on, we're having fun. Don't turn off your cell phone, and I would ask you this, if you've got one of those life alert things, help me, I've fallen and can't get up, turn that off, would you? Because it kind of disrupts my rhythm when somebody does that. But it's great to be here in Sarasota. We've all come here and from different walks of life and at different times. You with me, sir? And in my case, I came here to be in the circus many years ago. I was in what they called back in those days, very vulgar, the French, the freak show. They had Beverly, the bearded woman. They had a longhorn cow that had one big headlight in front, like a cyclops. They had the albino Black Panther, and they had me, Sam, the guy who was born in Miami. They dumbed the thing down because of political correctness. It started out as a freak show, everybody could understand that, and then it became curiosities, and then it became things that you may not have ever seen before. And I got sick of it and left, went back to Miami, and with a good friend of mine from high school, Jimmy Fink, started a small but very successful specialty baking company. You men will know what I'm talking about. We made urinal cakes. The specialty part of it was you could get the picture of a loved one implanted in the urinal cake, and all over South Florida for 3 months or more, they'd get the business from the guys that stopped at the truck stop. We made so much money, and I was young and got out of that business. Do you understand that, to you folks from Vermont? She's explaining it to her. That's what it's a man joke. And anyway, we made so much money, I retired early, and my wife and I wanted to give something back to the community. So we moved. We thought, let's go back to Sarasota. It's a classy place. They got the Oslo Theater. You're right down the highway on the signs. It's the Oslo Theater, Ringling School of Art, the Selby Gardens, the Opera, and the dog track. What else could you want? We ended up in Longboat Key. The reason we got to Longboat Key is that you have to go through St. Armand Circle to get there. By God, I love that. That's the best example you could ever find of the difference between Southern people and Yankees. Your Yankee is going to walk through there and never look at you at all, and he's doing straight like that, and by God, I dare you to do anything to me. A Southern guy going to do this. Hey, how you doing? He says, this is me, and my wife and her mother who's got a bad hip. And we got a little boy over here. He's got a sister, but she's playing softball up in Valdosta. And we want to cross the street. Feel like they're family. You wouldn't dare hit them. But finally, there's another group that's going like, oh, Jesus, mother, baby. They've been hit before. We got out to Longboat Key, and I quickly felt the sting of discrimination. I was made to play on the youth tennis team. Youth tennis team. You got it?
Got it?
What we found out there in Longboat Key, though, there were lots of things that changed our perspective. First of all, we figured out we didn't have nearly as much money as we thought, and we didn't have a nice car. We had lived in South Georgia for a long time, and we would go days without seeing a Bentley. Oh my God, they got special cars for Longboat Key. They got the Longboat Lexus. Has these blood pressure cuff, and they don't have any turn signals because I'm not turning. I don't care where I could have used them. The manufacturers of automobiles have figured out that these little sub-markets in Florida are important. We hear now that they're making one down in Naples. We're not sure what it is because it's had so much plastic surgery. It looks a little like a BMW, but you can't be sure. Yeah. Now, you know, I'm from Florida. I grew up here, and that's the truth, honest to God. I was born in Miami Beach, and I grew up in Fort Pierce, and I'm a Florida guy, so I can talk about it. You know, in comedy day, you can't talk about other things. You got to just, you know, talk about yourself. So here you go. Here's 8 minutes of a bald-headed Republican. But anyway, people talk about Florida, and they say there's no history, and there's no culture, no nothing, and no. There's a lot of history in Florida. We have some very, very old Kmarts. And I think if you would find over in St. Augustine, where this all got started in 1535, I think that's the right date, when Ponce de Leon came, he came looking for the Fountain of Youth. And based on my experience at Longboat Key, it has not worked a bit. They're trying over there, but it ain't happening. But they did do something over there. Right after Ponce de Leon died, the Spanish built a huge fort. You may have seen it. Massive things, 12-foot walls, massive towers there. And that was, it turns out to be Florida's first gated community. The downfall was, it's many of these gated communities, they don't put the brightest caballero in the bunch out there to be the guard guy. So there they are. And here comes a marauding band of Indians. He says, "May I help you? We are marauding bands of Indians, and we have come to rape and pillage and kill your people. Have a good one," he says. "Come on in." That's what they do. Folks, I've, based on all these experiences in Florida and my love for it, truthfully, I've written a lot of books, and we had some mention of one of my earlier ones, and thanks for stepping on that joke. But I've done one book about the shuffleboard wars between St. Petersburg and Sarasota that happened back in the 20s, called Geezers at the Gate. Are you with me there from Vermont? The people, the geezers at the gate. Yeah. And now listen up for this one. There's a little kinky sex involved in the next book that I've written. It's going to soon be published on Amazon. It has to do with geezer sex and sort of a kinky aspects of that, and it's called 50 Shades of Prune. Folks, it's been great to be with you, and I want to leave you with this thought. And first of all, I am available for luncheons and after dinner speeches that starts after 5:30. I would tell you this, life is short, make the most of it, and if you do, it's all worthwhile. Thanks a lot.